looks like a lane swap is actually going to be initiated here from the side of Velocity. So Evaniskus from MapleStreet going to go up against MegaZero's Rumble. And we've seen him 2v1 before and come out with double kills. So going to be interesting to see how Evaniskus from MapleStreet deal with that. While we do already have MeyeA and Chuuper shoving out that bot lane against Cris, who went to do Wolves, get some XP, and head to bot lane to get level 2 as soon as possible.
You see both mid laners in the mid lane, but Probably taking down below half HP. Fragnatic putting on a lot of early aggression. Able to chunk Probly early on and continues the damage. Probly just walking into every single one of those orbs of deception and could spell a little bit of trouble for him in the early laning phase as Fragnatic continues to apply the pressure. The flash, the taunt goes out. Probably flashing. He actually flashed the true damage on the trip back from Orb of Deception, so he didn't take that. Was forced to blow his flash, but that's Ignite down from Fragnatic.
Also flash down from Fragnatic, so both summoners respectively down at the same times for both sides. We do see a shove coming up top already. Level 2 for both AD carry and support. The plant harass coming in, as well as MegaZero spamming that flame spitter to help him pick up the waves, as well as provide some nice harass onto Evaniskus from MapleStreet. But either way, we still haven't seen Lautemortis move towards the top just yet. He's clearing out his red buff. He is looking to possibly get golems, hit level 3, and then gank down bot with a 3v2. But he still seems to be pretty far behind as he doesn't have a lot of health right now, and was forced to smite that golem while Fear and a Dark Wind are going to bounce perfectly between Cris and NK Inc. there and chunk him out quite a bit.
Yeah, the legendary triple crow when you get the nice bounce there will help keep the dominance in the bottom lane for Chuuper and MeyeA. And keep in mind, Cris and NK Inc., they're used to this sort of double bruiser. There's a taunt catching on to Chuuper. No knockup, just thanks to an excellent Fear from MeyeA.
Yeah, really good synergy coming in there. Chuuper still getting chunked out by quite a lot, and if that knockup would have landed, we could have definitely seen some summoners burnt out from possibly both sides. But up top here, actually, no, never mind. We do see harass going down bot. Ignite gets dropped. Darkwing gonna bounce very nicely. He's a trap too. Cris gonna be forced to run away here. NK Inc. as well as getting chunked out. Gets level 4. Does heal up a little bit, but now we do see the reverse happening as Chuuper and MeyeA now take advantage of the lane completely and force them both back.
Lautemortis finally making his way up the top lane. That was his first trip back to base, and with double buffs lasting for a little bit longer. Picked up nothing but a Spirit Stone and Health Potion, so there's going to be an early ward out there, but with the pause coming in,
there it
to
is.
see exactly what's going on. There was an early ping from CompLexity on the mid lane, but we'll have to see if that is because of, yes, mouse issues from Fragnatic for a second, so we'll see if we can get everybody back in the game as quickly as possible. As far as the early game is concerned, you can see MegaZero started off with a little bit of a CS disadvantage, now one ahead. Doran's shields for both solo laners and having the traditional rough time in 2v1s. I've seen MegaZero tweet so many times that he hates 2v1 lanes, and pretty much the same thing from Cris, although Cris on Shen should theoretically have a little bit of a better time, although because that duo lane with NK Inc. did not go in his favor, he has been forced back to base.
Yeah, and looks like the ready is coming out from MapleStreet. Just check in with everybody, and this will get resumed fairly quickly. And with the first back already coming in from Fragnatic in the mid lane, he does have a double Doran, so going to try to push his advantage with that, most likely, and force Probably back. They're still both down summoners and are very susceptible to ganks. Without the Spirit Rush, Fragnatic can't really get away. And dissonance from Orianna could let her walk right out of something, but still, NK Inc. did go back to base, so all of us are close to fading away, so hopefully he'll make use of those soon. But now everybody is ready, and the unpause is coming back out, as Lautemortis was still hanging around up top, so could still see some action up there.
With that, the game does resume. Everybody's issues are taken care of, and we do have a duo 2v2 versus 2v2 in the top lane. Just MeyeA and Chuuper on that bottom turret, and that's kind of a trademark of playing Caitylin. You kind of get the outer turrets, not necessarily for free, but early pushing strategies work out very, very well. It's something that CompLexity actually started along with like Cloud9 and LCS, all at the same time picking up this big early turret push, even after the extra armor added before the 8-minute mark. And here at 5 minutes, you can see bottom turret taken down already below half HP, and the Crow's continuing to bounce out there, chucking away at NK Inc. For the top lane, though, you can see CompLexity a little bit further ahead in their matchup. MegaZero keeping his turret much healthier, Lautemortis right alongside to help him out.
Yeah, and with Chris's first back, he picked up a Doran's Blade, so looking for a little bit extra damage when he does look to try to get a taunt in and throw the Vorpal Blaze out and get some auto attack harass. We do have both junglers making these lanes 2v2s currently, and from MapleStreet does get initiated on here.
It does look like, yeah, top lane is going to be flashes from both jungler and AD carry. Red buffs on MapleStreet, not going to stay alive. Lautemortis is there to pick up first blood for CompLexity.
Yeah, and that's going to be some major adoration stacks lost from MapleStreet. We do have Wallbreaker getting charged up, but I don't think they're going to tower dive with Zyra, as that could be very risky for them. And like I said before, from MapleStreet's 2v1s, and then with the help of Lautemortis, does pick up first blood and wins out in that lane now, as he's going to be really far ahead of Cris. And with his first back, how much gold does he have currently after that? He's got 900, so could see either boots or some more AP to help him out with the lane.
And that first blood actually is really crucial because of the way that League of Draven, the Draven passive, does work. He lost half of his stacks of adoration.
Probably in mid lane. Getting initiated on Ignite.
Fragnatic straight underneath the turret. Gonna get knocked back under there. Easy kill for Lautemortis, but not quite there in time to save Probably, who is actually having a pretty difficult time against Fragnatic, losing the 1v1 twice in a row.
Yeah, and if you notice, Lautemortis got 301 gold for that kill, thanks to the hidden passive between him and Caitylin when they get an extra 1 gold on kill. So that's going to come into effect, as that could snowball horrifically out of control. 1 extra gold, oh god. But now MeyeA and Chuuper just keep on pressuring down bot lane.
And the pressure, not only bottom, but also top, just applied on both sides of the map simultaneously by CompLexity. You can see them picking up kills top and mid, and now looking towards bottom, with the exception of Lautemortis. Now top lane coming through the upper tri-brush is going to get spotted out by a ward, and then just immediately hits the back button, sees MapleStreet coming in, and will back on off.
Yeah, and still, just a push going down bot, probably now getting behind that lane. We do have a... what is it called? It's the Fiendish Codex picked up here for Fragnatic, so we're going to have the CDR and extra AP to harass on this lane. This turret's almost dead in the bot lane. Chuuper and MeyeA still with the Great Siege, using that Caitylin range. NK hits level 6, has Cataclysm available to him, but both flashes are still up down bot. And Chuuper and MeyeA still not level 6 just yet, but just looking to play this safe and not give away anything. We still do see the 2v1 up top. Lautemortis farming up the jungle just a little bit more. He does have the Assault and Battery available to him in another gank if he wants to go for that. Spirit Rush still on cooldown for Fragnatic, so can't escape from too much just yet. We still have the Shockwave, and if we see a Lautemortis roam towards mid, that could be a really good combo, but Lautemortis is just going to head up top.
Now, there's no blue buff on Fragnatic. There's also no blue buff on Probably, as in an unfortunate turn of events, Lautemortis actually stole that away while trying to give it back to Probably. A lot of pings onto the lower jungle for CompLexity. Top lane is going to be Equalizer onto MapleStreet. Lautemortis trying to get in there. Salt and Battery used, so it will not be available. And now MapleStreet actually turning the damage back around. MegaZero gets a little bit of a shield as this, oh my goodness, grab shield. And then just the Flame Spitter there to take out MapleStreet. Evaniskus trying to make it back to his own turret. MegaZero is sort of stop microing to try to get Electro Harpoons in the right place, but didn't want to throw him out prematurely. That will allow an Evaniskus a trip back to base, but already MapleStreet down 2 deaths and keeping those adoration stacks low, still only at 62.
That's not going to be too good for him. He still needs to get a kill to snowball those. But now we do have MegaZero rotating towards golems. He does not have a ward in his inventory. Oh, never mind, decides to just go right on back there. As Chuuper's going to go back to base, he's got quite a bit of gold in his pocket. He's got 2100, so that's going to be definitely a BF sword, and a lot of damage going to be applied to the turret with that one. As Cris is still farming up down bot, he goes double Doran's Blade and a Doran's Shield, so the triple Doran's items to help him out and sustain, as well as giving some extra damage to help him last hit. So we're going to see how that comes into play, as the Haunting guys was finished up for MegaZero up top, so going to be definitely damaging out Evaniskus and from MapleStreet quite heavily.
Yeah, this is actually the Quas build that Cris is doing with the triple Doran's items to start. No, Quas was snowballing pretty hard at that point and actually used his first early kills to buy those triple Doran's and then just completely take over the early part of the game. But not quite the same situation for Cris. He is still 0-0-0, and with a 5 CS advantage, he's going to head top now. Does have that Stand United available, so he can get there a little bit faster if the occasion calls for it. Speaking of call, we do have Probably back in the mid lane. Talked about having a little bit of a rough time as he is 0-1-1. And with those numbers directly flipped for Fragnatic, he also has a blue buff. And in that lane will allow him to get off Spirit Rush with only a 70-second cooldown. I misplaced my decimal point there.
a 700-second cooldown. That would better be one good ulti. But now we have Lautemortis 3-0, currently looking to go towards the Dragon and do that one, as there is a pink ward for the side of Velocity, so they know that they're doing it, and a 4v4 fight could be initiated here, but still not looking like they want to do this one. Fragnatic is sneaking over there. He's got Spirit Rush. There's a Draven ultimate coming through. They can't get it as the smite comes in.
There's going to be a flash out from MeyeA, gets over the wall, drops the fear, and there's a Cataclysm to lock down Velocity. Lautemortis gets the smite and disengages, and after all of that engagement, it was a little bit rough to kind of conceptualize CompLexity getting out of there alive, but they make it happen. Flashes over the back, and a disengagement over the wall from Lautemortis gives him the Dragon and CompLexity a 3,000 gold lead.
Wow, that's going to be very good for them. And now we see the rotation coming in from the Caitylin lanes that we're normally used to seeing after they get an early turret here, as they look to try to push down the middle tier 1. There's the ball being thrown out. We do have a 3v3 potentially going on here, while they do send from MapleStreet bot lane to help him farm up. But up top, Lautemortis and MegaZero going to keep pushing down here with Cris trying to respond here. No mana on Lautemortis. He does get taunted. MegaZero pulled early tower aggro there with the Flame Spitter, and Lautemortis suffers little to no damage, as Cris now is going to be 1v1 against MegaZero.
And in that 1v1, we're finally going to get a chance to see how the solo lanes match up after being 1v2 for the majority of this game. And while their CS was even for a long time, Cris's trip down bottom to the Dragon Pit actually put him about 15 behind. And with the extra magic penetration from MegaZero, you're going up against Cris that not only has triple Doran's items, but also a Ruby Crystal, possibly for the Phage. This is pretty identically the build that Quas went. The only issue is that it's not necessarily. Yeah, he was ahead, and he could get those damage items at a point where they would be more damaging than anything his opponents would be coming up with. With MegaZero already having a Haunting Guise, he's never really going to be at that point, though he still can change the Ruby Crystal into either a Kindle Gem. There's actually going to be Fragnatic going in, gets Spirit out underneath the turret. Stranglethorns is down, goes in there just to get the last tick of damage, doesn't quite finish off. MeyeA and Evaniskus forced to flash it out of there. NK ain't going to go underneath the turret. Not enough damage to trade back onto Chuuper. The turret, MVP of that engagement.
Oh, the Draven ultimate was actually going down, and it just barely missed MeyeA as he ran past the tier 2, so very close with the Whirling Death there. But either way, it's still going to be none for none in that dive, as Fragnatic used the Spirit Rush to try to get the last charge on MeyeA. He flashed out and didn't continue with it, and MeyeA just got out of there with barely any HP and just went back to base and healed up. And yeah, so very close fight. And Cake has Cataclysm available to him right now. He's waiting for Chuuper to try to escape there. Actually, never mind. We have Lautemortis coming from behind the turret. And 2 invulnerable ultis, but now Equalizer gets dropped.
And there's Equalizer and the Flame Spitter at long range. Lautemortis will sacrifice his life, but not before MegaZero goes deep under the turret for a double kill on Fragnatic.
Those ultimate interactions look so cool. Cataclysm, you can't be interrupted, and Assault and Battery, you can't be interrupted. So they just kind of swap places right there, as now the siege is going on in this mid lane. Chuuper laying into this one, as now we see MeyeA rotating towards blue to drop a ward for himself and possibly steal this one away. It looks like they might be able to, as the jungler is still dead and Fragnatic is still gone. And from MapleStreet might try to stop this one. There was a ping on it. They did have a ping ward just die right there, and probably will steal away the blue buff.
Probably's like, all right, take number 2, screw that Lautemortis guy. He took my last blue buff. We're going to get MeyeA to help me out this time around. And so probably with a blue buff, possibly his first of the game, if I'm counting that correctly.
Yeah.
Now going to the mid lane is Chuuper, taking out the 3rd and final outer turret for CompLexity.
Yep, and now we are going to see the sieges onto a tier 2, or maybe force some kind of 4v1 and leave MegaZero up top to split push, because he does have that Liandry's Torment completely finished now. A lot of damage going to be coming out from him, as well as some serious spell check penetration. And no magic resist on Cris is going to be so hard for him to deal with that one. But now picks up a Phage, so going to be going for that very damaging offensive style of Shen that we saw Quas play, as we keep harping on that one. Fragnatic dropping a pink ward to deny some vision away from Probably, who did place a green ward down there. And yeah, just NK clearing out the jungle. Chuuper going to keep farming back up, going to be building towards potentially that IE, as he does have quite a lot of gold in his inventory once again, with 2,200, almost 2,700. And
Sweet
yeah,
Lord.
Yeah, farming like a monster.
It's going to be a straight up Infinity Edge when he goes back, and there it is. You're talking about NK farming up the jungle, but it should be noted that not only is he behind 20 CS to Lautemortis, he also has only a Kindle Gem, Flask, Boots, and a Hunter's Machete, compared to Lautemortis, who is miles ahead with a Spirit of the Ancient Golem and Ninja Tabi.
And that Ruby Crystal going to be building most likely towards the lock-in, unless he wants to go for the Trinity Force 5, which is still not out of the question. It's a very good build. But now with that, we are going to see Lautemortis and MeyeA drop another ward in that mid lane as the oracles from MeyeA clear out that pink, and they're sending Chuuper bot to pick up a lot of CS in that bot wave and look to make the way towards the tier 2s as all the waves are staying shoved out, and MeyeA is doing his job in keeping the wards cleared out of the red side of Velocity's jungle and just taking complete control of the map already 15 minutes into the game.
MegaZero with that completed Leander's Torment just going to absolutely wreck Cris, who, of all of his items, they all have one thing in common, that's that they all give HP, which Leander's Torment kind of dumps on. So we'll have to see if Cris can manage to stay in lane. He's dodging out from a lot of the Electro Harpoons, but still taking a little bit of extra damage. Now as Chuuper rejoins the rest of his team mid, CompLexity are just kind of leaving MegaZero and Cris up there on their own island and focusing on pressuring that mid lane with Dragon up in 30 seconds. They're going to back out, probably after putting on a little bit more pressure for the Dragon. Lautemortis clearing out plants. MeyeA takes out the pink ward. Both teams know exactly where the other are. I don't think CompLexity are going to go for the Dragon just yet, but at the same time could bait a huge engage.
Yeah, we see MeyeA hanging around towards that brush. He cleared up the vision, forced Evaniskus to drop another word. I thought he was going to look for a Curse Storm initiation and then throw the ball on Shockwave, which is another cool combo that they have. But they're just going to let the Dragon spawn and go take it in Velocity. I don't think they can respond to this one as they are still very far behind right now. Chuuper and Lautemortis going to two-man that one, while Ink is roaming towards the side, throws the standard, gets a crow to the face though in response. So it's going to be another Dragon in favor of CompLexity as that's their second Dragon of the game already. Root comes out, connects on a Probably Spirit Rush going in.
Probably just a little bit caught out of position. There's the Draven ultimate. NK will fall. Chuuper in the back, dealing a ton of damage. Has to get back to the fight. MegaZero taking out MapleStreet in the back. Fragnatic goes down. And that is a 4-for-1. Probably dying early on. Chuuper barely staying alive, but only Cris left in that category for Velocity.
Yeah, really good fight, potentially from Velocity, but then just completely turned around after Probably died and then just threw the fear onto frommaplestreet Draven. He could not get away from that one and just got decimated. Now MegaZero is chasing onto Cris up top, LeeSin the Harpoons forces out the flash, and Cris will get out of there. And he didn't even get time to come into that fight as the target that he chose just died instantly. So Cris stayed pushing up top and couldn't even get over there as MeyeA was rotating up top to try to catch out Cris, but nice back from Cris gets him back to base. And now Chuuper and Lautemortis are going to just shove out bot lane.
You can really see the difference between the AD carries in that last fight. Chuuper, for all of the criticism he gets, has his moments, and his positioning in that fight, while not actually allowing him to get a lot of damage done early on, kept him safe at all times and allowed him to, well, stay alive, whereas MapleStreet's positioning was much more aggressive. He was like in the middle. Melee range AD carries tend not to make it out of fights, and he was one of the first ones down, and those adoration stacks only work if you're able to get kills, and at 0 and 3, Bloodthirster still left to be completed.
Yeah, I love Draven as a champion, and just seeing him fall behind and not being able to abuse that passive that he has, which is a very hard passive to use. You still need to secure those kills for yourself to cash it on the adoration stacks. But when you do fall behind on Draven, you're kind of just lackluster. But still with the BF Sword, those Whirling Axes are doing a ton of damage. But the Infinity's Edge and Zeal and looking to be the Static Shiv for Chuuper are just going to be critting and hurting a lot more than the incompleted Bloodthirster. While Evaniskus does walk into a trap. We do have a blue buff going over to Fragnatic in the best case scenario. But Lautemortis coming in, smites it, and steals it away from him. As now CompLexity are just taking control of Velocity's jungle.
CompLexity are taking control of a lot of things right now, and in the bottom lane, looking to push in onto one of the last outer turrets left alive after the middle one did just finish falling, and with a solid push down there, MeyeA giving CompLexity, this is like you'd expect from like, I don't know, World War II positioning, where you sort of have the advanced guard and MeyeA go through, advance, clear out the ward coverage, while the back line shoves it down the lane. Lautemortis in the front. I'm not sure if I can compare him to like a tank or something, but that's where we get the words. So I suppose the analogy holds. Means that I'll have to stick with that one for now. MegaZero trying to chunk in from the back. Catches Fragnatic with an Electro Harpoon, and together with MeyeA, there's actually going to be a catch on MeyeA. Taunt goes out. MeyeA blows up, but now the damage to come out. There's no command. Shockwave, did the ball reset? I didn't see the command Shockwave
No one
finish.
was in it. No one was in the Shockwave, so it did not connect to anybody, and it is going to be down. So now we do have Velocity looking to hold and possibly initiate in a really weird initiation.
There's going to be Assault and Battery on and MapleStreet getting him knocked up from the back. Lautemortis will shield himself, flash on out, but it's the last turret shot. It will take him down. It's currently a 2-for-2. CompLexity continue the push. They're diving through the base towers, trying to take out Fragnatic. One last build over Peacemaker. Lands home the ace for Chuuper as Velocity fall. CompLexity, they're a little bit of a rough start to that fight, losing MeyeA, find an ace, and the 5th turret of the game.
Yeah, so the 5th turret goes down. Chuuper using the distance and the net to get in range for that Piltover Peacemaker, picking up the kill. And then MegaZero just being tanky with just a Rosales, just charged to the base, takes out Cris, and that's slow, just decimating the team. Even without Shockwave and Equalizer, they still clean up that fight 4v5. And yeah, just that didn't go too well for Velocity. Even though they got the nice catch on MeyeA, they could not turn that fight into something that they needed, even with a good initiation from NK Inc. and everybody tanking turret from CompLexity side. We are going to see another Oracles coming in from MeyeA to clear out this Baron pit and take control of that, as CompLexity could either look to keep on sieging down bot. Ooh, actually, NK Inc. was chasing Chuuper there and runs into a trap in the Tri-Brush, as he's going to go back to base, spend his copious amount of gold, and be 5-0-4 at this point.
Great performance from Chuuper, but similarly, a little bit of a struggle for Probably mid. You can see his 1, 2, and 6, and even though he does have about a 20 CS lead over Fragnatic, Fragnatic's been able to pick up the kills and did go the aggressive Deathfire Grasp instead of the more passive Athene's Unholy Grail. There's gonna be a flash forced out by MeyeA. Does not want to be the first man to die again in a fight for CompLexity. Fragnatic, though, getting found out there by Probably does not want to fight that either. Will be forced to Spirit Rush away.
Yeah, we do have Evaniskus getting speared out here. Crocum is at Ignite comes out, and it will be MeyeA picking up the kill with some nice bounces, as now MegaZero is going to chase this one down. Flame Spitter, silence from the overheat. Coming over the Crowstorm in the back is MeyeA. Charm connection from Fragnatic, and while MapleStreet is trying to 1v1 Probably here, doing a lot of damage with those axes, he looks like he cannot finish the kill, and he's gonna run up towards their Tri-Brush side. There's ping coming out. Probably wants the team to come back, but Fragnatic lands the charm, the Flame Spitter, and then MeyeA picking up another kill. Fear comes out on the Cris. He can't do anything with that one. While the chase on MapleStreet continues, as Probably will look to chase this one out. Is he gonna bait the Shen ultimate though? Can he do it? Shen ultimate, where are you? Cris, not gonna Shen ultimate from MapleStreet there, and it will be Probably, after a long chase, securing the kill.
That's how you know when you're calling somebody and you get like the static on the phone, you can't
like
really
Skype breaks.
communicate. This is true, and also slightly too soon, young EGAD. But as I'm gonna find some wood somewhere. If only my desk weren't made out of metal. Curses. We're gonna continue the game, at least for now, but MegaZero in that fight with a completed Rylai's Crystal Scepter and 160 CS to his name, absolutely crushing that through with a little help from his friends helping him get by there. MeyeA in particular has just been all over the map. You can see CompLexity, their focus on the top lane means that there's already about 7 wards there, about half of them pink as well. Dragon will go down to CompLexity at the same time, and starting to see the Trinity Force get in there from Cris. He has 2 components of that, but not a whole lot else.
Yeah, and something funny actually happening right now as they try to catch out NK crits come through. There's a pink 4 drop from MegaZero. There's going to be an Equalizer dropped, and it looks like he might chase this one, but a nice rip from Evaniskus will slow him down, as well as that plant applying that slow. And that is going to be Equalizer down for a little while, and we are still seeing CompLexity move to look to drop the siege in the mid lane. But there were some pings onto Baron, as Probably is heading over there, and is he actually going to start it? Looks like he might be.
MeyeA has 2 stacks of pink wards in his inventory. Wow. So much ward coverage for CompLexity, they can even see why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Lautemortis and Probably try to 2-man a Baron buff in the meantime.
MapleStreet, wow.
As MapleStreet having a little bit of a rough time defending that turret. CompLexity don't even need half their team. They're continuing to check in onto the Baron. NK Inc. knows what's up. He's got some awareness there. Command Shockwave does not land once again. There's a shutdown in the meantime. Fragnatic will go down there, but or will get the kill. It's a double kill as CompLexity getting routed out of the Velocity base. 3 down for only MapleStreet after losing that 1v1, but Fragnatic making the big plays, bringing Velocity back, or at least keeping them in the game for now. A little bit of a misguided Baron attempt there by CompLexity.
The 2v2 wasn't the best. The root connects on the Lautemortis. Charm comes out. Lautemortis is going to be their target. Orb Deception taunt, and who's going to get the kill? Evaniskus with the plant. As that was surprisingly good for the side of Velocity. They capitalized on the two-man dive coming in their base and picked up two kills, and then capitalized on Baron being two-man by Lautemortis and Probably, but NK Inc. and Cris has something to say about it. Well, now we do see MegaZero's Equalizer clearing out the way, but Cris just going to face tank that one on the tanky Shen, as he's actually not tanky. He's going for Trinity Force, excuse me, as his first item, and trying to be a damaging Shen instead.
And that is not one but two turrets for Velocity as they pick up their 9th kill too. So CompLexity having a little bit of a rough time. Lautemortis actually failed his Vault Breaker over the wall and wound up dying for it. So few kills going the way of Velocity. Now Chris's Shen finally with a Trinity Force completed has also picked up some magic resistance in that Negatron cloak, and I feel like this is where Quas was on this very same build at around the 15-minute mark. So a little bit later on, but still Velocity with enough to get the job done, and you'll notice the kills keep going the same places towards Fragnatic and Evaniskus collectively carrying this game out for Velocity, but probably no more two-man Baron attempts as MeyeA continue to drop the ward coverage and clear it out simultaneously. CompLexity looking to take down the second outer turret top.
Yeah, and now we do have Fragnatic going on to Chuuper and getting the kill for Cris, so some good catches, but now Evaniskus is getting caught out here. Shockwave through the wall. Evaniskus is trying to get out of here. Stranglethorn gets dropped. A double knockup, going to try to save him out. Double knocker from NK Inc. as well, as now the Roots with the flash from Probably with the command attack picks up the kill. Lautemortis finishes the top tier 2, and they're coming in with another fight with Shen ultimate on NK Inc.
That's going to be the dunk on to MeyeA. He will get taken out, and as MapleStreet and Fragnatic look to get it on to Lautemortis, the rest of his team a little bit slow to show up. A nice taunt in there keeps him safe, but not for long. Equalizer doing amazing amounts of damage. 9 tons as MegaZero is in there taking out Cris. Lautemortis in from behind. Cris looking to disengage, but MegaZero does not even care. Lautemortis tanked up the turret, but he did make it out alive. Mega with enough health to tank the turret and pick up the double kill for Probably, and the second ace of the game comes out for CompLexity.
That was a quad ultimate. That was a quad equalizer, just hitting 4 members. They couldn't get out of it. The Rosales slow was just too much, and that's going to be an inhibitor turret, and most likely an inhibitor for the side of CompLexity after a really well-placed equalizer, and those wards being dropped out all over the place to taunt Evaniskus without oracles now, and there is the inhibitor going down as Chuuper gets the red buff for himself, and potentially now we could have Baron be the next point for a fight here for CompLexity.
Man, MegaZero ate his Wheaties this morning, or like started his day off with an LC Espresso. He was completely aware of that top lane, and that is what a good Rumble ultimate looks like. Sweet lord, the damage coming out from that, and not just the damage, but the combination of the extra slow from Rosales, doubling the damage there on Leandre's Chuuper. Got taken out 1v1 in that bottom lane, and now a little bit overextended by himself. Farming out the mid is going to be fairly safe for now, as have his trinity of 80 carry items completed, which do unfortunately not contain a Trinity Force, much as everybody would like watching would like. The only Trinity Force on Cris is still looking for his next completed item after those 3 Dorans have sat around there for a while.
I feel like Spirit Passage might be his next item, but now we are going to have red buff getting stolen away from Velocity, so no Draven red buff there, as we do miss the bleed from him. Chuuper picks that one up, and now we are going to see them clear out this Baron, get rid of that ward, and deny more vision away from Velocity. There are pings over there. There's going to be a back ping on Evaniskus, though. He does not want to get caught out. And Lautemortis is waiting. The Assault and Battery is available to him, and NK Inc. is going to lead the charge on the other side. They're going to spot out that pink ward, kill that one. And that whole 2 stacks, that's like 10 pink wards coming in from MeyeA, are just dropped all over this red side of the jungle, just controlling that perfectly. Cris has Stand United available to him. MeyeA gets the dissonance, gonna look for a fear potentially. Passes by a ward, Stand Aside comes out to stop him from doing that, but that's gonna be another inhibitor turret going down instantly for that.
That will be a second, actually, base turret going down as CompLexity look to take out their second inhibitor as well. Chuuper gonna look towards that top lane. Evaniskus loses half of his HP. Equalizer kill as MegaZero goes godlike. Command Shockwave draws Fragnatic back in just to explode. MapleStreet and NK Inc. forced to retreat to the fountain as CompLexity just crushed through the outer defenses, which are somewhat ironically named, as seems as if helping CompLexity draw Velocity out of their base more than it's helping Velocity defend. There's going to be the dunk onto NK Inc. Stand United, or Stand Aside, both standing, but not for long, as MegaZero and Chuuper rather, looking to force MapleStreet back out onto the fountain. GG is coming out as Lautemortis picks up his 7th kill of the game. MegaZero 7 as well, although with MegaZero deaths in the middle column. CompLexity will take down the Nexus, close out their series against Velocity, and take it to 9-0 in NACL.
And that puts Velocity at 0-8. The Crowstorm gets stopped by the damage from the fountain, but that is going to be the game for CompLexity, like you said before, and they're looking nigh unstoppable in the NACL, so good job to them. And in that 2v1, still MegaZero picks up that kill with the help of Lautemortis, and snowballs ridiculously out of control. Has a death cap, Leandrews, and a Rosales, so he's just a damaging little monster.
All right, well, I hope you guys did enjoy that game. It was a nice comeback from CompLexity there in the mid game, but I think only Quas plays Quas builds. And Cris with 2, 3, and 4, not the worst score, but definitely not on that same level. CompLexity stomping through once again. Devastating performance. The only undefeated team in NACL other than Team Coast. And if you guys like this matchup, you're going to want to stick around for tomorrow as well, as Team Coast take on CompLexity in a battle of the undefeated teams, both now 8-0. We'll see Team Coast a little bit later on, but coming up next, it's Team Curse taking on Curse Academy in their second meeting here in NACL. You don't want to miss it. Stick around. We'll be having that coming your way as soon as we get back from a quick commercial break. Before we head on out, do want to give a shout out to our sponsors at Loot Crate. If you guys love super cool